Most of the time, I get a message by wondering what's going on, like pondering the issues of the world or life, myself, the church. And during Pastor Micah's study on Friday nights, where we were looking at holy thinking, how to think, holy, and the lesson gave us all these little tidbits and, what it was and how to do it. One of the things that stuck with me was we need a defense. It's not good when we get attacked and then we're trying to figure out how to defend. We need a good defense. All the defense classes and that, and, when you're taking all these preventative classes, that's what they do. If someone should attack you like this, then you do that. If it's like this, you do that. And what that is a defense. So when the enemy comes, in whatever shape or form, I have a plan. So I think that a lot of times we don't have a plan for defense. We're good offensively. We'll set, we know what the goal is. We'll set a goal. We'll pray. We'll fast. We aim toward good offense, not good defense. So I picked a couple scriptures that, to me, if we can get this, we will do well with a defense. Okay? So I'm going to focus on 1 Peter 5, 8 through 10. And if anybody remembers, they should be recently familiar because they were not too long ago, Pastor Micah used them. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. But the God of all grace, who hath called us into his eternal glory by Messiah Yahshua, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. Okay, so he's talking about defense. See, be sober and vigilant. Why? Because you can get attacked at any moment by your adversary, the devil, who is looking to attack you. Okay, so he's talking about here's a good plan of action. Be sober and be vigilant. So you have your defensive ready. So, of course, we need to understand what sober and vigilant is. So to be sober means to be clear-minded. I can't escape them 4 C's. Clarify, clear-minded. So I have to be clear-minded, sober. So when we talk about people, usually you think somebody that's in drunkenness. If they're not drunk, they're sober. Well, but sober means clear-minded. So I can't be worried, stressed, fearful. All of that stuff clouds my brain. So it's not clear. It's cloudy. So I have to somehow learn how to release these things so that I can be clear-minded, have a single focus, be able to let this stuff go. That's not important. So I need to be clear-minded. Vigilant means watchful, circumspect, attentive to discover and avoid danger. So it's somebody that's very alert. See, when Yahshua left his disciples, he said, watch and pray. Be vigilant. So don't just pray. You need to be vigilant while you're praying. So our prayer could be offensive, but the vigilant part, we're going to be on guard, defensive. Circumspect, because part of the definition of vigilant is circumspect. Circumspect means cautious, watchful on all sides, examining carefully all the circumstances that may affect a determination. So, of course, when I read that, I'm thinking, bring every thought into subjection. I examine carefully, the Trojan horse should not get past me because I'm going to, and I'm going to examine it carefully, on all sides so that I can see, with my clear mind, I can see so that the enemy can't progress. I'll be able to stop him. So it's of necessity. So now we have to figure out, because we have stress in our life, we're things that we're fearful of. How do I become clear-minded? How can I maintain sobriety? And so therefore, this is, of course, where Yahshua comes in and casts all my cares on him, and all the scriptures should run into your head. I got to cast all my cares on him. So that's part of the defense, because part of the enemy's attack is going to be to get you not clear-minded. So stress in your life, worry, fear, all this stuff's coming at you, and you're wondering why? So that the enemy can get you drunk. He's getting you out of focus. You can't see straight. I mean, even people use that. I can't see straight. I'm so angry, I can't see straight. Well, yeah, you can't, because you're not clear-minded. Can't see straight. So the enemy, that's part of what his tactic is. To get you so that you're not clear-minded, to get you so that you're unsure, unstable, on wobbly ground, uncertain. I don't know if Yahweh wants me to do this or do that. Where you're wavering. Clarify after you choose. Clarify. I'm telling you, I can't get them C's out of my head. Be vigilant after you're sober. You can't be vigilant unless you're clear-minded. So you can't be watchful if your mind is all foggy, if you're worried or stressful, or even if you're just busy. Just busy. Ever have toddlers? The toddlers, like you're holding your keys in your hand, but you're talking to somebody. And the next thing you're like, how'd they get my keys? Then I took them right out your hand, and you're trying to figure out, how'd that happen? You were so distracted into your conversation that they just got them right out your hand. Or maybe it was a pen or something that they wanted, and they just take it right from you. Or you're tired, you're weary, Somebody that I know, they used to go to their mom when she was like that, like she was in the bed. And then they would go ask for what they wanted, because they could. And then later, and they would be telling the truth. Well, you said we could. When did I do that? Because she was weary and tired, and she wasn't, and she wasn't clear-minded. The scripture tells us to wake out of our slumber. See, all of that goes to being sober, to being clear-minded, so that we can be vigilant, so that we can be watchful and cautious, and not just watchful for what's in front of us, but on all sides. That's why I don't like to drive. It's too much work. But I'm going to have to really work hard. And this is why it's good to have a team. You watch that way, I watch this way, you watch that way, and then we can, keep our focus. Watchful on all sides and examining everything, every little thing. Don't just take, well, so-and-so said, and the last thing they said was the truth, so now they have a reputation, so now you just take anything that they say. You're supposed to examine everything. everything. Then he goes on to say, which says, whom resist steadfast in the faith. Be firm in the faith and resist him, the devil, resist him. Resist your adversary. And he says, why? He says, you're not alone in this. See, you're not alone. Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world, all over the world. We're all going through. In some shape or form or other, some intensity different. You're not special. You're not, oh, woe is me, because we're all going through. And so the direction is to us all. Be sober and vigilant, because the devil is after you. Have a defense. But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Messiah Yahshua, after you have suffered a while. See, we want to have perfection, and we want to be established and have strength and be settled. But he said, you get that after you've suffered a while. We don't like this. I expect to be established without any suffering. Don't tell me you don't. Make me perfect. I want in the image of your Son without no suffering. But who am I? Did not Yahshua suffer? He suffered, but I don't want no suffering, don't I? So, and then this little while. Okay, I think it's long enough. What is a little while to eternity? Is that 5 years, 100 years? How long is that? When there's eternity, what's a little while? You know, when my kids or my husband used to say, I'll be back in a while. What does that mean? Like, you need to tell me what that is. Because I know me. I'm going to put that in my time. And then when you don't fit my time, you didn't do what you said. So don't we all, Yahweh's not faithful. He said, and it didn't happen in your time because you wanted him to work it in your time. Well, just because he said a little while, you know, you have to consider what is a little while when you have forever. 1,000 years reign in the millennial kingdom is what? Is what? And forever. Is that a little while? Probably. I think that's a little while and forever. So we got to, you know, not complain because we read the scripture. It says, after you have suffered a while. But we have to know that Yahweh is a God of all grace. And he has called us unto his eternal glory through Yahshua. And then after we suffer, or even as we're going through our suffering, his goal is not to have you suffer so you can just suffer. It's to perfect you. And that perfect, excuse me, means to complete thoroughly. You know, we use the word mature, but here it's like complete thoroughly, that you're thoroughly finished. The work that he started out to do will be completed thoroughly. You know, not any part lacking. That is repaired or adjusted, restored. So the suffering is so that we can be restored to what we once were. Not me, man. Going back to the garden when Adam and Eve were perfect. And there was no flaw. They were perfect. And they walked with Yahweh in the garden to be restored. That established is turn resolutely in a certain direction. And resolutely means with fixed fixed purpose. Now that's just a general word. But of course, Yahweh wants to establish us in the fixed purpose direction towards Him. Towards Him. Because remember, He said that He's the God of all grace who hath called us to His eternal glory. So He's fixing us. So He's not only completing us thoroughly, He's setting us, He's giving us a fixed purpose. That means it's forever the same, unchanged, in His direction, where we're not looking to the left or to the right. It's all about Him. That's all I see. That's all I care about. Strengthen means to confirm, to make firm, to fix more firmly. Now remember, turn resolutely was to fix with a fixed purpose. Now you're even fixed more firmly. To make firm or certain. That removes all doubt. So now there's no doubt. There's no uncertainty. I'm fixed. I have clarity of my purpose. You know, I see Him and Him alone. He's my goal. And that's where I'm going. This is what suffering does. It causes me to make that choice, to choose. That's what suffering does. Some people, when they begin to suffer, quit their walk with Yahweh. You know, this is too hard. So it causes you to make a choice. Settle means to be erect, upright, directed upright, firm, unshaken, to make solid. So as you can see that all the suffering that we're going through, the trials, the temptations, as we keep sober-minded, the enemy is going to attack. You can't get away from that. You are going to be attacked by the enemy because he's seeking to attack you. It's not random. He's not saying, oh, look, there's somebody, where there's random acts of violence. It's not random. He has a plan to attack you. You are in war, even though it may not seem like it. You are in war, and there is an enemy who is seeking to attack you. And exactly, devour. While he devoured that, ain't nothing left. Ever watch Uncle Casper eat the chicken? He devoured it. I mean, there was clean. I ain't never seen bones that clean in my life. The enemy wants to do that to you. Not just, knock you over, bruise you, give you some battle scars. He wants to destroy, kill, destroy, finish you off, cause you to quit in your pursuit. But if you manage to keep a sober mind, to be clear-minded, make the choice and have the clarity, then you have this assurance that's not maybe you'll get this. It's assurance that he will perfect you, that he will assist you in setting your direction straight, giving you a certainty, removing all doubt, so that you can go in the right direction that you are supposed to be headed. Part of that is we have to believe, because it's a faith walk. Nothing changes that. All the stuff it's still a walk of faith. It's still a faith walk. So you have to believe that what the Word says about who we are, what we have, is the truth. And so that when the devil, through whatever means, as I said earlier, Yahweh works through, so does the devil. He'll work through people that to try to, So no matter what you hear contrary, you have to receive the Word by faith And then stand on that. That keeps your sober mind, because Yahweh said, cast all your cares upon him. Why? Because he cares for you. I have to believe that he cares for me. Because if I cast all my cares on him, and I don't know if he even cares. This is so little of a situation. I might not even try to cast it, or I cast the care and I take it back because I don't think Yahweh has the time for it. Or, this is a little matter. He deals with big stuff. I have to make sure that what this says about me, what I have, what it says about me. See, stop saying, well, that was for him and that was for her. This is about you. It's about you. It's a book written to you. Somebody told me it was a love letter written to me. It's for me. It's written to me. It's all about me. And whichever choice I make, I can end up here or end up there. But it's about me. So let's go back to chapter 2, where Peter says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people. Now this is the same letter where we looked at the devil, the adversary of the devil's going to attack you in chapter 5. This is before that. He's trying to encourage you, like, you are me, are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness unto his marvelous light, which in times past were not a people, but are now the people of God, or Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. So he's saying, you. See, now this is where you got to believe, or it's by faith. You might not feel like it sometimes. Chosen, which means you've been selected. Yahweh picked you. See, you didn't just say, oh, really? There was a God that did, I think I'll pick him. I'll choose him. He chose you. The scripture tells me I love him. Why? Because he first loved me. See, he did it first. So he is my selection. I choose him, but he chose me first. See, he chose me first. Sister Tirza was talking about, I don't understand it. I don't get it either. Who cares? Why do I have to understand it? I need to, by faith, believe that I'm chosen. He selected me. All right, so now I'm selected. What am I? A royal priesthood. I'm not just in the priesthood, royal priesthood. Pay attention to these words now. Royal priesthood. I'm royal priesthood. Royal, okay, what are you? Royal king. But it's kingly. Not just, people will say, well, we're a kingdom of priests, or we're priests and kings. No, we're a royal priesthood, which means we're kingly, which means we're a priesthood which belongs to a king. I'm selected. Now I belong. See, he's not changing. He's not giving us, well, now you are a chosen generation, and you're also, he's breaking it down. See, you're a chosen generation. Let me tell you what that is. You're selected. You belong. You're a priesthood that belongs to a king. You belong to a king. A holy nation. Sacred. Now let's look at this a little bit. Physically pure, morally blameless, and ceremonially consecrated. That's why you can offer your body a living sacrifice. Because you are pure, blameless, and consecrated. So you don't only get to function as a priesthood that belongs to a king, you have been made an acceptable sacrifice, where Paul talks about offer yourself a living sacrifice. You can do that because what you have accepted by faith, I am now physically pure, morally blameless, and ceremonially consecrated. I'm fit to be something that can be offered on the altar. When it's just me, I'm not fit. I'm not fit to be offered. Now we take this peculiar and we want to say, we're unusual, weird. I've heard lots of words. Have you ever looked at it? Because we read it and say peculiar. I know what peculiar is. It's weird. It's unusual. It's strange, odd. Peculiar. It means acquisition. I've been acquired. You know what that means, right? Purchased. We have been bought with a price. That's how. So Peter here is saying, you are selected. You belong to the King. You are holy unto him. And you were acquisitioned by him. So now that you have all of that, what's the purpose? Yahweh just didn't do it for nothing. We want to stand. I hear all the time people do half a scripture, half a verse. We're a royal priesthood, chosen generation, holy nation. And they stop. Why? Because they don't want to do the rest. The reason is that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So if you are, and I am, because it said so, I take it by faith, there is something I need to do. And when I do this, I need you to understand that I haven't changed my topic. I'm now on the offense and the defense. When I do this, show forth the praises of him who hath called me out of darkness into his marvelous light, I'm now on the offense and the defense. See, offensively, I'm moving forward. I'm fighting the enemy. And I'm prepared for when he comes to attack me. Because I'm clear-minded. I'm vigilant. I'm set on course. My focus is assured. I know what has happened to me. Again, he hasn't brought me from darkness to light. He brought me to a marvelous light. Marvelous light. Which in times past were not a people. You who are a people used to not be anybody. You aren't nobody. But now you are the people of Yahweh, the people of Elohim. You belong. You've been acquired, acquisitioned. You are a priesthood that belongs to a king. You are now his, which had not obtained mercy. You didn't even have mercy, but now you have obtained mercy. And again, Peter's talking about all the work of what Yahshua did gives me this. Now I got to believe this. I got to receive this. So we can pray, but we need to have a plan. How do and I can't answer this because we're all indifferent. We all have, the enemy's attacking us differently. So you have to sit down and say, get a plan of action together. When the devil comes at me this way, then this is what I'm going to do. When he comes at me that way, this is what I'm going to do. When he uses so-and-so, this is what I'm going to do. Maybe I just need to cut off so-and-so. However, now there's a saying that says the best defense is a good offense. Y'all know that saying, right? Now, I have firsthand experience of this week. So you can actually set up a defense by being offensive, being on the offense. That didn't sound right. Being on the offense, and it turns into being a defense for you. So there's one of my coworkers. Her and I have had some conversation about my faith, right? And how we handle customers and when people get on our nerves and stuff like that. So, it was offensive. It was on the offense. It's like, yeah, but I want to make sure whoever listens. It was, I was being on the offense. I wasn't defending against anything. She wasn't attacking me. I was just presenting my offense. And this was a while ago. So the other day, I don't know, the customers just lost their minds. So I have one after the other. And usually she works a register with us, but she was doing something else. So she's on the other side of the counter, and I think she's mopping or sweeping the floor. And after the second customer, I hear, "Miss Beth?" And I turn and say, "Yes." She says, "Fix your face." And I just laughed and said, "Thank you very much." I didn't know that at the time, because I was getting highly irritated, ready to say, you know what, the next customer, I'm going to just have to have some words. But at the time that her and I were having a conversation, it was me not defending, but presenting an offense. But it became a defense for me when I needed it. It turned around and became, so the best defense is a good offense. That one was like, wow, that works. You have to have a defense. You have to. Let's do football. Football season's almost over. Most everybody understands football. You walk in, you turn, you've missed the game. Like me, I don't really care, but let's turn the TV on and see what the score is. And it's 49-53. What is the first thing out of your mouth? Where the heck is the defense? Like, where's the defense at? Like, everybody's on the offense. Who's playing defense? Isn't that what you say? Like, you figure the defense not even there because there's everybody. It's no good to have a good offense and you go down and you score, and then when the enemy comes, they score, and then you get the ball and you score, and then they get it and they score. You never know who's going to win. Is it the last person who has the ball is going to win? Because the defense did nothing. If you want to win, you not only have to have a good offense, you have to have a defense. And the defense can be mediocre. Really. See, the best defense is a good offense. Score the points. But then you need somebody, a team, whatever, to hold the other people from scoring points. You have to be able to stop the enemy from scoring, from taking you down. You have to be able to do that. So you need to, again, there's no set rule. I can't sit up here and say you need to do this, you need to do that. You need to be sober. This is what I can tell you. You need to be sober, clear-minded. So now you have to sit and do whatever it takes. Do you have to have a time of meditation, a time of prayer, a time of reading the word? You know when you've been strong. When the enemy came at you for that week, and you know what it was like, get off me. And so now you have to sit and say, what was I doing? Where was my mind at? Because I need to do that all the time. All the time. I mean, I've actually, at one time, it sticks with me because after I was doing it, it's like, this is amazing. The devil was just all on me and trying to really, and I just laughed him off. Like, this is not going to work. I know it's you. That's the vigilant. See, I recognize you. I see you sneaking around the corner. I see you. You can't have this. That's vigilant. And when we're clear-minded, we can see that. We can see it. We see him down the road and say, come on, I'm ready for you. What you got today? Let me tell you about my God. And sometimes he don't even bother. He'll be like, because he likes sneak attack. Get you unaware. That's why he tries to get you drunk, out of focus. First, before he comes. Stressed, worried, fearful. Then he comes. Like you think that's the attack. It's not. It's a diversion. It's a diversion so he can assure himself victory. So we have to learn how to cast off all our cares, however that is, whatever that works for you. Whether it's prayer time, study time, whatever that is, music time, whatever that is, you have to have a plan already in motion. If it's somebody, I used to tell people about my little pinwheel that sat in a little bottle's about this big. Somebody gave it to me. It's beachfront property on Myrtle Beach, I think, or one of them beaches. Some sand and some small seashells in it. They brought it back. Somebody had brought in a treat at work, had little pinwheels on it, the paper clip, the toothpick and a little pinwheel. And I stuck the pinwheel in the cork on the top of the bottle. And it sat right at the computer, so if I did this, the pinwheel moved. And I realized now I'm sighing, like I'm getting frustrated, or I'm letting, and so it sat there, and I said, this is the greatest tool ever. Because as soon as I would, and it would get to go, and I said, okay, Yahweh, help me fix the face, fix the attitude, get me fixed. Whatever it takes so that you catch yourself. That you catch yourself going into worry, that you catch yourself going into stress, that you catch yourself so that you can be sober, so that you can be vigilant. That's your defense. That's your defense. Whatever it takes for you to be sober, you have to be, because you cannot be watchful if you're not clear-minded. Prayer meeting, whatever it takes. And each individual has to decide, but it's something you have to do. You have to do it because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. You want victory? Of course we do. Then maybe part of your sobriety is remembering who you are. Telling the devil, you know what, I'm chosen. He said, oh, you done screwed up again. Look at that. Yahweh got no use for you. He said, no, I'm chosen. He selected me. Yes, you're absolutely right. I don't understand why. But that's okay. I don't need to understand why. I know he chose me. I'm chosen. I have a purpose in him, for him, through him. Sometimes that's all it takes, to stand up and say, you lie, 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 lie. Move on. Was it Gabriel? Is he the one in Jude? Michael. Says, you know what, I couldn't even, what's the point of bringing up accusations against the devil? I just said, Yahweh rebuke you. Yahweh rebuke you. Be done. Be on. Don't get toe-to-toe with him. Yahweh rebuke you. But again, find what it takes to keep you sober, to keep you clear-minded. Maybe it's a partner. Would you call them, Sister Denise? Accountability partner. You know, maybe you need one of those. A confidant who, when you're in stress, will speak the word to you. You know, again, whatever works. Post signs up all over your house. Zitsies. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Don't wait to be beaten down and say, what can I do? Yahweh, help me, help me. What can I do? Be defensive. Be defensive so that we can stand victorious. We're going to stand victorious, but let's do it with a little less bruising. You know, a little less bruising. I'm going to suffer, but a little less bruising. You know, a little less battle scars, a little less, because I've had a good defense. Let's just praise Yahweh because he's the one that gives us the good defense.
Makes me want to sing that song. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. He is my defense. I shall not